cloud. Okay, I just see us four, right? Is that, where'd you go? Where'd you go? Okay, all right, so it's just us four. Okay. I'm gonna say, so there's actual, like, there's a test to see what you can do, and then there's like a load test, how much load your body can manage, and then there's like a strength test. I'll save that for, I'll put it up, but I won't put it in this workshop. What I'll do for this workshop is give you the exercises that I have that are not necessarily running specific, but will help someone who's interested in running. And the principles are the same of being able to load and have good stability of our hips with respect to the management right here. Does anyone want me to go over running stuff as far as like mid-foot, heel strike, stuff like that? Okay.
I don't personally need it, but
okay.
Me.
Okay. We'll have some extra time then. Do you guys, I have another thing that we can move into about like bowel health and how that affects your pelvic health, your pelvic floor.
Sure.
Okay, does anyone have an issue with like going to the bathroom too frequently? Not at all. Okay, so you
if
guys
anything, I probably hold it all too long.
Okay, so you're not experiencing like unwanted leaks or urinary urgency where you're like, oh, I think I'm gonna go pee before I leave the house, just in case.
Mm-hmm.
That's not us. Okay. Oh, hi, Carrie. Okay. Okay, then I'll fast forward. I want to get that in there eventually soon, because I think there's someone else that is experiencing that. All right, well, let's give it a go. So a band will start right on top of your knees. We're gonna do 3 different progressions of a clamshell, which you heard me say last week, like clamshells are not my favorite, but in terms of being able to offer hip stability, that glute med is what helps to hold your pelvis posteriorly. Also, people who are looking into moving into running, you have to have good control and good strength of your glute med in order to be an efficient runner and maintain that pelvis. So this band is going to be for the 3rd exercise of our clamshell, and I'm just going to lace that up to something secure right now before we get started. And I will have to move my camera around to show you this 3rd exercise. So exercise 1. You're lying down and your knees are bent right out in front of your hips. Oh man, whose floor is that? That's so pretty. Is that Carrie? Is that yours at the barn door?
Oh, yes. Sorry, I'm getting changed.
Shopping in your house. Okay. You're going to take an exhale and open the top leg or open the top knee. Inhale, lower. So as we're doing this, just do a few. Think about exhaling. Inhale, expand. So you're in this hinged position. We're lengthening the pelvic floor as we inhale, and as we exhale, we're contracting, wrapping the abdominals and lifting. What tends to happen is to lift, sometimes if the glute med is really, really weak, we'll rock back. And as much as possible, I want your hips to stay in alignment with each other. So the left hip is on top of the right hip, or if you're laying on your left side, the right hip is on top of the left. Inhale, lower, exhale, lift. Now, this is similar to what we did last week when you were on all fours. We're gonna really stretch and open this band. So this would be progression 1. Exhale, rapid lift. You can even be lying down. I'm trying to peek at you. So yes, we want to get full range of motion, but not at the expense of opening to where we're rocking our hips. The hips stay fixed. It's the glute med that's contracting to get the lifting. Yes. I'm gonna flip sides just for a little even and to give Carrie a second to catch up. And then I'm gonna give you the second progression. Carrie, you can just stay right there since you just got there.
Okay.
Exhale, open. So if you were to take a ruler and place it right across the front of your hips, or a level maker, the left hip and right hip are even. Inhale, open, or sorry, inhale, release. Exhale, contract. And you feel that in your glute med. Probably more so now on the stabilizing side if you've just worked. So progression 2 is now you're gonna come up into a half plank. Oh, that's my bad shoulder. Sorry, girls, I'm gonna flip. All right, elbows underneath your shoulder, and you're lifting and engaging right around your rib. So as you abduct, you're pulling this elbow down towards your hip, and inhale, lower. Spin those hips forward and stacked. Progression 3. I'm gonna lift my hips now. Sorry, you're in my. Good. I'm moving the hips back. Exhale. Now I'm aligning my body into a half plank.
Is your foot staying down for that one, like touching your other one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, my foot is staying down. And as we're doing this, we're making sure we're not shoving the hips forward, that the pubic bone is still pulled to the belly button, our pelvis is in alignment. I'm in this nice, long, straight line right here. My chest is open. Sometimes we'll fall forward like this. And in this exercise, if you can keep yourself open and stacked, this would be ideal. Making sure we're not dumping into the shoulder and that you're engaging right here. Okay, I'm gonna move my camera and show you the next progression. And the reason why this one is good for runners or running, people who want to get back to running. Because when we're running, I might have to just give you my spiel. When you're running, we want to have a little movement through your mid back. Sometimes when we're postpartum, things get really tight, and an effort of us wanting to like hold things in, we squinch at our midsection, we squish at our chest. We're really restricted because we become chest breathers, and so there's not enough movement or mobility right here. When really we want to have some nice fluid motion. So this one, you're in your clamshell, and this should be far enough away that you have some reach. I'm going to choke up on it just so I can stay in the frame. Abduct, reach. So I'm really trying to like stretch at my mid back. I am trying to rotate and pull. And ideally, then you're going to lift those hips up off the floor. Abduct. Reach. But you can see why this is a great one. Even if you're not a runner, this is great for your pelvis, your hips, your mid back. We're trying to keep that upper body. Am I in the frame? Yeah, I am. Okay.
Yeah.
Working with the lower body. Really reach. So I'm totally twisted up in mid back. It would look like this from behind. Big, deep thoracic stretch. And then exhale. Pull and stack. This is getting pulled down towards your hips. Good, Carrie. I'm watching you right now. Inhale, reach. Pull, pull, pull. Good, keep pulling that elbow towards the hip. Okay, so you feel that in your glute and your lat, and it should feel challenging, but good.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, and that bottom arm is working too. It's not just chilling
Mhm.
like a leg of a table.
Correct, yeah.
Okay, I'm missing my view here. Hold on. All right, I'm going to show you. You may see Julie. Carrie, go ahead and switch sides.
Right, so I'm reaching forward first.
Yes, yeah, a big reach. And then exhale, lift. Okay.
I don't know if I'm in the right position. My band feels far away from me. Should it be closer?
It should be far. It should feel like a reach.
Okay, that's what I thought, but okay.
Carrie, if I'm being critical, it looks good, but if I can just pick on you, just
Yeah.
okay, pull that band up and now lift your ribs up off the floor even more. So as you pull, lift up, yeah, try to create a space for a beach ball to pass. There you go.
Okay.
Can you feel those obliques fire a little more to stabilize your ribs? All
Yeah.
right, I'm back to you, Julie. Exhale, lift. Pull, abduct. Okay, now Julie, sweep your arm like right next to your body. It was kind of like up and out. Yes, that's better. Okay, now
Okay, do it with my legs. I just do two things at once. What? Okay.
patting your head and rubbing your belly. Okay, and as you abduct that top leg, keep that top hip facing forward. Little bit better. Did you feel how you wanted to go out wide with the hips, but you corrected it?
Yes.
Okay. That's it. And then keep pulling that bottom arm towards the bottom knee to get that stability in your ribs, on your obliques. Yes. Woo. All right, we got that. So I would say 10 of each and work to move up to, Carrie, you could probably skip number 1 or just do a couple to kind of like make sure your body's in alignment and then move on to progression 2 and then move on to progression 3 and progression 4.
Okay.
So that would be clamshell abductions with the band, with your mini band. Oh my God, I left my notebook in my house. Okay. Clamshell. Oh my God, you guys, I'm gonna cry.
No.
It's not that big. I'll take 30 seconds. Single leg hip hinge. So this would be lots of hip hinges. This one you're just on one leg. So as a runner or someone who's wanting to get back to running, even if you're not a runner, I know you guys are not, but having good unilateral support and unilateral stability, strength, and balance in each leg is critical to your core and pelvic floor. You're in a hip hinge or in a single leg hip hinge, and you're gonna rise. That's it. Progression 1. And if you need support, you can have something out in front of you. You can tap this toe down behind you. I will say having a fixed spot to look at does help. You can tap this foot here. Ideally, you can bring it all the way up. So it would look like this. The progressions to get there would be your hinging. Hips are parallel facing the floor. This kind of back leg serves as a kickstand. My hips are behind my heel, okay, to engage the glutes and get it fully stretched. Otherwise, you're going to be pulling from your back if you're way forward. Weights in your heels. You should feel like you can wiggle your toes. Here's the modified. Extend that back leg. Drive up, tap, and then lift. Because when you lift this leg, now you're going to engage more of your glute med. Shift those hips back. Good, Julie. Good. Reach. Okay, take a few. Good, Carrie, nice and fluid. Okay, so Carrie, go ahead and now add your arms for balance a little more. So the farther the arms are away from your body, the more work your body has for balance. Good, keep pulling those hips down towards the floor. Reach, lift. Okay, go ahead and shake it out. Try the other side. I'm gonna run back into my office. I want my other note. Oh my God, it's right thinking here. Thanks, Karra. Hinge, reach. Good, and in this movement, it should feel like you can wiggle your toes. Your toes are there for balance. They are making contact with the floor, but most of the weight is in your heels, and that's a red check point for you saying my hips are behind my ankle. My hips are behind my heel. So the purpose of these exercises, whether or not you're a runner or not, is to avoid excess impact on your core and pelvic floor. While running, not while running, whether you're doing running real life or picking up your kid that's running away from you as you're tackling him. Good. And you should feel this glute med in your glutes working. Yeah, I'm going to give you another progression for that. Single leg hip hinge with an arm reach. So you're back in that hip hinge. Now you're going to take one arm and you're going to reach down and then drive it up. So you could, I'm not going to, but you could progress this to a dumbbell, okay? Now we're doing one side opposite the other.
Are you reaching at an angle, like kind of in front of your opposite toe, or straight down?
Yes, good question. Yeah, I'm right in front of my opposite foot.
Okay.
So you're stretching and loading a little more into the stabilizing leg, creating more space for your glutes and pelvic floor. Yes.
Okay.
And then I'm rising all the way back up. So you'll feel more length. So it should feel more load. Julie, switch arms. Yes. There you go. Reach. You got it. Okay, could you feel the difference?
Yeah.
Okay, a little more coordination for your core, upper to left, upper body, lower body coordination, a lot more stability and work for your glutes, and probably a little more mental coordination too, getting those deep neuromuscular coordinations to fire. But just like in running, right? Or even in walking, or if you're hiking, you've got opposite arm to opposite leg. That's the natural biomechanics of our body. Next exercise would be a lunge. Okay, I'm gonna push this a little forward. Okay, so we're gonna do a forward lunge to a backward lunge. Now, forward lunges are a lot on your okay, so Denise, maybe hold something or watch before you jump into this. This is why I'm a huge fan of reverse lunges, because it forces an automatic hip hinge. So we're forced to load our glutes a lot more. And I feel like we're better balanced as far as distributing our front body, our top half with our lower body. control and deceleration of the knee. But we need to have this in our program because that's real life too. You know, if you were to bend down and pick something up, what are you doing? You're loading in a front lunge, and your muscles need to know how to control that deceleration movement of your knee. So here's what this looks like. Forward, you can even pretend that you're picking something up, and then lunge backwards. Reach forward, lunge backwards. So we're practicing the transfer of load from the front side, from the right side of the body to the left side of the body. Whether you're a runner or not, you do this and need to know how to do this in real life. So forward, front leg does the work. Going backwards, back leg does the work. Reach, reach. And always in a lunge, you're slightly hinged. Just like in running, if you were to run, I'm going to just keep this in the running format, you're slightly hinged forward. Where runners get goofy is they're too straight up and down. Slightly hinged at the waist. Change legs if you haven't already. So adding a dumbbell would be how I would progress this. And I know, so it would look like this. If you don't have a dumbbell, don't worry about it. I didn't require dumbbells for this program, but I'm gonna show you what this would look like. So I'm a fan of single arm, single leg movements. So you lunge forward, opposite arm of the leg in front, step back, lunge back. And as you lunge back, the tendency here is for the ribs to flare. The mid back is arched. Keeping those ribs stacked over the pelvis, and your back is not arched. So I'm going to show you a little smaller in my frame. Lunge. So for a lot of runners, especially postpartum moms, we're just off right here. They'll arch their backs right here, arch their backs, flare their ribs. And we talked about the best communication for your core and pelvic floor is to keep those ribs stacked over the pelvis. So they're slightly hinged forward, there's movement in their mid-back. So as you lift those arms up in that shoulder press, training your body and those obliques to wrap and engage your ribs. Yes, Carrie.
I did 3 each, and then the last one I couldn't get back up, so I'm just waiting for the next one.
Oh no! Oh no! Did your knee hurt? Like the
I
actual?
don't know. I was just like, okay, I cannot get back up anymore. And we're like, nope, that's it.
Oh no! Okay.
But I could do the back and forth the balancing thing, like
nice.
so that the balancing works, just not the strength.
The balancing. Oh wait, which?
The one before.
This
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Okay, it was this way.
Yeah, only this.
Okay.
Maybe wait, do it. Can you do it one more time? Because I might have gone down way too low now that I'm seeing it again.
Okay, yeah, you don't have to go down super low. Right here
Huh.
and right here. And so
Oh.
lunges for runners, I'm going to keep this a runner topic.
Yeah.
When someone's running, they need to have like what's called a triple hinge, okay? You're hinged here, there's a hinge right here at the knee, and there's a hinge at the ankle. When things are too straight and locked, your body has nowhere to like move the impact that's absorbed out, okay? Think of your body like a ping pong game. Like it's got to be able to transfer load and energy. So when you're running, when you're lunging, this is why like this lunge straight up and down doesn't work. Like it doesn't feel good on your body. That's why people feel it in their quads. Their glutes are still flat. Hinge. That knee is over the toe. There's a hinge. There's a slight angle at my ankle. There's a slight angle at my knee. And then there's an angle right here. And the same thing when you're a runner, when you're striking down, that strike should be hinge, 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 never locked. So I guess that's the long view of, will you do it again? Sorry, Denise. You don't have to go down as deep. If it bothers your knees, it just doesn't feel good on your body. A lot of times women with prolapse, like that depth,
Mhm.
that stretching can exacerbate symptoms until there's enough strength in all areas of the length. So going down to wherever you feel safe and comfortable, and then coming back up. It would be here, and training your body really to be able to control its deceleration. So I didn't see it, but I'm assuming
Oh, I went all the way.
all the way down,
Yeah.
and then you couldn't get back up.
Yep.
Yeah, this is a big load. That's a big load to be able to do that.
Like when I did that the third time, then it was like, nope, done, over.
So maybe come here. So, and then move back. So when you're lengthening these muscles,
Yeah, that feels
like-
a lot better. Just going like this.
but work over time, Denise, to try to get more length.
Yeah.
And something like this,
Yeah, that thing looks so good.
oh my God. One of my first pieces of equipment I ever purchased because it's affordable and it's so multi-usable.
Yeah.
But this allows you to like support some of your body weight. I can get deeper without
Mhm.
putting so much resistance and weight on my joint.
Do you have that thing in your shop by any
I
chance?
do. It's in my Amazon shop. I'll send you guys the link after my after this. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got it. And I would suggest, I mean, you can put it in a door, but if you can mount it to the ceiling, you just have a lot more flexibility of doing more with it.
Well, our ceiling looks like this, so it's kind of
Oh,
hard.
That's not happening.
You don't know high.
Put it in your door, like Carrie. You can definitely still get good stuff out of it. I like to pull and climb on mine.
I'm
Okay.
short. It's fine.
Okay, lunge, forward, backwards, add dumbbell. Adding the dumbbell, opposite arm, opposite leg. Step ups on a block. So I'm going to show you on this block. You can use a yoga block. You can use your kid's step stool, whatever it is. There's 2 exercises I'm going to show you here. One would be just that general step up. You can add weight to this for sure. Okay, 2 different options. You could hold 2 weights. You could do 1 weight, which I'm a stronger fan of. 1 weight, press, and as you press, making sure you're not flaring out one side and that the shoulder is down. And what tends to happen in movements like this, where we've got one leg lifting or working for us, is we get this hip height throughout the movement. So noticing if that's you, adjusting left hip in line with the right. So what happens here is your QL is helping to support that left. The QL is your quadratus lumborum in your back. Oh, nice step, Carrie. Okay. And you could deepen this and turn it into a lunge. Okay. What's on my worksheet is step up. So just step. I will add the progression for you in our block to make it a lunge. And I'll add the progression for you to take a band, take a dumbbell, and press. Just like in the lunges front to back, rib flare. Lots of space from the shoulders and the ears. Bring it down, pick it up, press. As opposed to keeping it here. It's not a bad thing to keep the weight right here at your shoulder. It's not at all. But real life, getting your core and pelvic floor to absorb load and transfer load, transfer weight, it would be like picking the thing out of the grocery bag and then stepping on the step stool and putting it on the top shelf of the pantry, right? This is real life. Oh, I'm gonna watch you. Good. Yes, Denise. All right, Julie and Carrie, can you guys turn to the side so I can see your body from the side? Okay. Okay, pause right there, Julie. Julie, go back. Okay, you're super upright. Push your booty back, hinge forward. There, now step up. And you don't have to go that low. Right there and up. Good, so you should feel this in your glutes. Yes, your quad, probably gonna get your heart rate up too, that's a good thing. But as you're loading, you're leaning forward. You're leaning forward, just like a runner, they're slightly lean forward. They are never to be upright. You're slightly lean forward. As you lean forward slightly, you put your hand on your booty. Now come up slowly, girls. Slow, 2, 3, 4. You feel your butt?
Oh yeah.
Slow, 2, 3, 4. Okay. It's for your booty. All right, I'm gonna turn this. I'm gonna move on to progression 2. So progression 2 is a toe tap off the back of your block. So it is to be done slow and controlled. So you're gonna reach like you're just trying to tap your foot into a cold bucket of water. Tap and up slow, 2, 3, 4. Slow, 2, 3, 4. Slow, 2, 3, 4. Slow as can go. Reach. Yes.
Are you wanting the foot to go straight back, or is it again at an angle behind the other foot?
It's matching the hinge of my upper body.
Okay.
So to progress this, ladies, you could change the depth of your block. So doing both of these sequences on a taller block. So sometimes you'll see in the fitness space step-ups and they're done really fast, and it's all okay as long as there's good coordination and control with the muscles that you're trying to get to support the movement. So making your body take time to do things slowly and making sure you're getting that mind-muscle connection. So tapping backwards, tap, tap, tap. I'll do this with my clients a lot to make sure those glutes are doing the work for them, and it's just a toe tap versus them pushing off the ground to do the work. You'll hear a lot of runners say, my glutes are weak, my glutes are weak, my glutes are weak, their glutes are weak. Because they learned how to not use their glutes. They learned how to push a lot with their calves, with their toes. And you can progress that with weight. I would always say, when you're progressing, do what you focus on range of motion first, then add load. Then add load. Range of motion first, because when you lengthen the range of motion, it's like stretching things out with the silly putty or Play-Doh. You want to, wait, I don't know where I'm going with that analogy, that's a different one. But lengthen the muscle first, then add load to make it more difficult. And the reason why is because when you stretch and lengthen, you're getting all of those little muscle fibers to awaken and turn on. The more you can do that, the more recruitment you can get. Okay. Lateral lunges would be next. So in a lateral lunge, that helps to absorb, we want your body to absorb impact and load from left to right. We live in this space right here where we do everything. We cook in front of us, we eat in front of us, we hold our babies in front of us, and we do a lot of exercises right here because we're face to face, but we also live in this side plane space, okay? And a lot of times injuries happen when we don't train outside of this front plane right here. So in a lateral lunge, we'll change this so you can see my feet. You're gonna inhale as you reach to the side, exhale, push up. Now, I see a lot of lateral lunges where the toes are turned out and the knees are turned out. And that's because the glutes are not controlling the movement. So your hip, knee, and toe want to try to get them in alignment. And then just practice pushing off. Inhale. Exhale. Push. Okay, Julie, stop right there at the bottom. At the bottom. Okay, turn your toe forward. Shift your hips. Make your knee go forward.
Which toe?
So sorry.
Which one?
Toe forward, hip forward, knee. So Carrie, Julie, I want to like pull your hips. I want to like shift your hips. Lean your hips onto this leg. More. Yes, okay, pause. Now turn this knee forward. Shove your hips out more.
Because my toe looks forward to me.
Okay.
So
Yes.
is that right?
That's better.
Okay.
Okay. So you should feel, yes. Okay, look at Carrie right now. Carrie's, or to go back, Carrie. Okay, do you see how if you were to draw a line from her hip to her knee to her ankle, you could like connect the dots on a straight line.
Yeah.
She's
Okay.
shoved her hips way over.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so you need a little more stretch in those hips.
I could feel it when you were saying that, so.
All those hip shifts that we've done, yes, that's it.
Okay.
Okay, now as you're pushing, this is important. Pushing with your glutes. Yes, Carrie. Push. All right. Yes, shove, push. That was it. Okay, Denise, can you move the camera away or step away so I can see more of your movement? Okay. Okay, pause right there, Denise. Okay. Yes, okay. Go ahead. Now get into that lateral lunge, Denise, and just pause at the bottom. Okay. Lift your chest a little higher. Drop your booty right there. Okay. So your range of motion looks different than the other girls, but that's okay. That's your range of motion. But your hip and the camera is a little turned. It's not, you're not like perfectly square. There you go.
Right. Okay, there we go.
Okay, Julie, look at yourself in the camera and watch what that right knee is doing. Right there, Denise, yes. Reach, and now shove that left leg to meet the right. Push. Push, yes. Push right here. Yes.
Oh, it's really hard to keep it.
Toes are forward, Denise. Not to the, turn to the side. Protect your knees. Yes, toes are forward. There you go. Yes, that was it, Denise. Reach, push with the whole, there you go, Denise. Okay. Julie, turn that knee forward. Hips, push up the right hip to the side more. Now move your torso square. Turn your torso towards me. Yes, yes. And shove.
Oh my goodness, it's such a small move. Just a.
So here's the deal, and I'm gonna go on a rant here because I see this a lot with like in gyms and fitness stuff is you'll see trainers like put a band on someone's ankles or above their knees and they'll say, okay, do side squats or side steps. And this is a great exercise for your glute med if it's done correctly. And I would say it's never done correctly because people are leading with their feet. They're turning their toes outward. when you turn your toes outward, you're changing where the muscles of the glutes are turning on. Turn your toes forward. Now do the side steps, and now you're getting your glute med and your glute max involved. And same thing with these. You know what? I freaking love that. I'm putting that in the program. Everyone needs to know that one. Lateral, same thing right here. I mean, if anything, just like in a squat, you have a slight opening of your feet. It shouldn't be super duper narrow unless you're doing a narrow squat, slightly turned out. But we're not doing that. We're doing a lateral lunge. Toes, knees, hip, and alignment, okay? If the toes are out, you're changing the angle of the hip. You're externally rotating your hip. You're not lengthening your glute to squeeze and strengthen your glute. Lead with the hip. And the toe follows your hips. Your toe follows your hips.
Would you say if someone who does have their foot turned out, is that still what's the word I'm looking for? Like a beneficial exercise? It's just not the right exercise for what you're wanting to get? Or is it just completely like it's a bad, don't do it? I'm just curious.
No, that's a great question. I don't think it's a bad exercise.
Mm-hmm.
If someone knows that their feet are turned out to train a different muscle group.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad exercise because
Mm-hmm.
you're still controlling movement with the knee in different angles. We live in different angles with our knee. I mean, 15 years ago, people used to say, don't do a lunge with your knee over your toe. And
right.
We thankfully debunked that because, hello, like we do so much stuff with our knee bent over our toe and it has the range of motion. It can do that. What makes it bad, what makes it difficult is if we have limited range of motion or mobility in our hips and limited or unsafe structures in our ankles. So no, it's not a bad exercise. It's just typically asked or prescribed to strengthen the glutes and the hips. But when the toes are turned out, you're not using your glutes because your glutes are already in this, we talked about pregnancy in this external rotated position. They're already tight. They're not expanding. They're not strengthening. Here, you're in that hinge. That hinge is everything for your pelvic floor.
Okay.
This shortens it. This lengthens it. This does not get it to work as deeply, as full range of motion, as efficiently. This does.
Okay.
Yeah, good question. There are really no unsafe exercises. I say that and then it's all in how you do them, right? And what's the purpose? And what you asked, Carrie, is great because what's the purpose? Why do we need to know this? Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
All right, lateral lunges with a band. Here's one kind of progress that. I've got two progressions for this one. Actually, let me go back to this since I drilled you on that form. So lateral lunge, I would like this exercise to move towards you transferring load right away. Because that's real life. Your pelvic floor, if you're gonna go jump on a trampoline right now, your body, jump with one foot, jump with the other foot. You're running, whatever. You're carrying a kid, your body needs to be able to transfer load efficiently without peeing your pants because it can't control the impact. So being able to move left to right, front to back, and training it in all different angles is going to help synchronize your core and pelvic floor. Bulletproof your core and pelvic floor. Train it in different ways. Allow it to transfer load from left side to right side. And add resistance to that. So left to right, progression would be add a band. Easy, harder, the more it moves away from your body. Okay, changing angles. Progression 3, rest. So working with the angle of your anchor point. You're facing the anchor point. You're next to the anchor point. Easy to hard, right? Because that's real life. Sometimes we live in a place of easy to hard. Then adding resistance. I'm going to show you with the kettlebell. You can do this with, actually, I'm just going to show you with a dumbbell because I think if anything, if anyone has weight, it's going to be a dumbbell. Transfer the load. Your body is now having to learn how to absorb the transfer of movement with the transfer of weight. That would be like a sneeze, a jump on a trampoline, a cough. There's impact. And I'm using my breath with movement to add support to my core and pelvic floor. I'm gonna watch Carrie right now, because she's moving. Toes are forward, transfer. Okay, and Carrie, as you're transferring that weight, you, depending on how heavy that feels for you, you'll feel the different muscles of your actual core, your stomach, having to contract and aid support. When you add resistance, your body has to, be responsive. Where are my hips? Where's my ribs?
Okay.
And I can't see that left toe, but I'm assuming it's forward because your right is. Okay.
I don't think so. I'm watching it now with the weight.
Okay. And give me a big exhale so we hear you breathing on cue. All right, I can't hear it, but it's a.
Okay. It's when you go up, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. So we've added weight, we've added more things to think about, checking back in with the alignment of your hips. You're shoving those hips out and back and back. If I didn't say that, it should be implied. Back.
So when I did it, I think I don't know, I'm feeling something like deep in here. I don't know if I hurt something because I was doing it wrong or if I did it right and it just is sore.
Julie, I can't see where you're pointing. In your adductor?
Like right in here.
Oh.
Back in here. Is that just because I'm tight, maybe?
Or they're just not used to working like that. And your body,
Yeah.
what am I doing?
I know. I was like, I don't know what I did, but.
So yeah, there's a lot of adductor work in being able to do that. And I have a chapter of adductor exercises for us as well. So what does it feel like? Does it feel like you hurt yourself, or does it feel like you just were like, whoa, that pulled, or that I felt something?
Yeah, just that.
Like
it pulled, or I felt like, I don't know. It just hurts kind of now. So I don't know what I did.
Does it make the prolapse feel heavier?
No, not necessarily.
Okay, I would just hydrate and
Okay.
chill. It's probably a new exercise, honestly. And women are so weak right here. We're so weak because we don't.
Well, I find myself, even when I'm bending down to pick up the kids' toys, I hinge here and do this number instead of use my glutes because I'm catching myself doing that now. It's terrible.
Good, you're aware of it, but because we can't change what we are unaware of. But yeah, I would say do this. That way you have more support for your core and pelvic floor when you're in a split stance like this, and you're working on your range of motion, and you can support yourself by resting your hands with on your side. Okay, so you all get the value in moving and training your limbs in all the places, front to back, side to side, and why that's important for your core and pelvic floor.
Yes.
Okay, whether or not you're a runner or not, even though this was like runner focused or runner umbrellaed, it's all important. This is just stuff that falls in with, will make someone help to make someone a leak-free runner. And
Yeah, I made it, actually, I really want to get back into running this summer, so I love that that's the
amazing.
focus.
Then I will give you my spiel at the end of this. Oh, did you miss like the first 4 minutes or 3 minutes?
I did, yeah.
I should have just done it because I'm like, okay, do any of you want to hear the running thing? Like, no. Okay.
Sorry,
Yeah,
Kier.
I used to run, and I really haven't consistently since I got pregnant with our second. So it's been 9 years, but I want to start running again.
Okay, you got it. You got it.
Mhm.
Yeah, running. There's nothing that replaces running, really. I
Yeah.
mean, that runner's high is amazing.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's running is not for everything. But it's definitely there's a pocket of people that are like, that is my thing, and if you take it away from me, my life is over.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Single. Oh, hang on. Which piece did I put this on? Lateral lunges, step ups, running man, lunges front to back, single leg. I think that is all my exercises. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 exercises. We moved through those fast. Okay, so you get my spiel. Okay. And we'll do the load test because it's good to know that your body is operating and in sync the way you want it to. We want it to. Okay, so running form is a forward lean. And if you girls are not interested in running, now you know. You become experts. You'll start being critical of you like see women running down your neighborhood. You're like, oh, she could be more efficient if she did. Okay, so you should have a forward lean with your running. So sometimes we'll see runners and they're like upright, and what that does is you get a rib flare, your back is an extension, and you're not generating enough power from your glutes if you're not in this hinge. So a forward shin angle, which you heard me touch on, is like when you're planted. This is slightly lean forward. So you want to be under with your heel, but you don't want to be directly under your weight with your shin. This should be slightly at an angle. So form is everything. Just like we talk about form when we're standing and form when we're exercising with like exercises, there's form in running. And then, Carrie, I'll put this in like a category of this chapter for you and whoever else wants it. We talk about like heel drive when we're running, and yes, we want to like drive with the heel, but it's important to know where that heel strikes. So you want your heel, you want short, fast strides, which is why a lot of runners do tempo, like we'll have their watch and it keeps their tempo because it's not quick, fast pickups. So heel, forward lean, mid-foot strike, so you're landing on your whole foot as opposed to your heel, full foot or the heel, which is important for you girls to know. I am not a runner. I have trained runners. I did a half marathon because I'm like, I should know what it feels like for these runners that I'm training. And I'm good for like 3 miles or 30 minutes. So you're hearing from a trainer who knows about it, but I don't live it. Like I live in this space right here. But the principles carry over to that space. Ribs over pelvis, slightly forward with your stride, and you should have some movement. Sometimes we're really tight right here, especially after baby, we're really locked right here. We have shallow breathing, so allowing for space so that you can breathe and having enough movement, but not so much that you're gonna get a cramp. Small, quick strides, using a cadence tracker to help with the pace of keeping your feet picked up. Sometimes those feet drag, and then that slows your stride, that changes your stride, and it changes where you plant your feet. So we don't want to be landing on our toes. We want to be landing right underneath your center of gravity on your midfoot, and then taking off. And your breath, you shouldn't be hyperventilating. So it's not an exhale it's not a breath and an exhale every time you take a step, because that would be like too much, like 200 breaths in a minute, and we just don't operate like that. Long breaths, massaging you're letting your diaphragm massage into your intestines. So if we're too shallow up in here, which a lot of women are when they're running, especially if things pick up and intensity picks up, we tend to like hold everything in. So keeping things long, release, and relax. Okay, so a test, let's keep this exercise focused. There are 2 different tests you can do to see if you're ready for running. Number 1 is you should be able to walk for at least 30 minutes without peeing your pants and comfortable. And I'll put this up into your thing for you. My physical therapist gave me this. There's some other things on there that I've put in and modified, but I'll give this to you guys in this chapter. Single leg balance for 10 seconds. So we talk about unilateral training this whole entire program. It's so important when you're moving into sports or athletics. Being able to balance on one foot for 10 seconds on each side. A single leg squat. 10 reps each side. So, single leg squat.
Yeah, I will fail that one.
Second. Forward wide hops. So being able to absorb impact.
How many of those?
10.
Okay.
10 wide hops. Hop in place. 10 hops each side. And pay attention if you do this, like, where am I gripping? Where am I leaning? If you pee, when and where, okay? Single leg running man. Oh, this was an exercise. Sorry, girls. This was supposed to be an exercise I did with you in our lunging on the block sequence. 10 each side. And then run for 10 seconds. So you can check if you can do all of those without any pelvic floor dysfunction issues, no heaviness, no leaking, no irritating, then you're in what we call like a good place to explore it. So someone who's like, 6 weeks postpartum or 5 weeks postpartum, and they're like, got my clearance, I want to go for a run. Like, should you be running at 6 weeks postpartum just because you're like cleared? Like, well, can you do these without any issues? And then there's the strength test. That's your load test. All right, strength test. Single leg calf raises, 20 each side. 20 of them each side. Single leg sit to stand, 20 each side. I forget which week it was, but we did a series of these in our program where you baby sat, had a little kickstand, and I think there's a progression where you even tried it without. 20. A single leg bridge. You're laying on the ground. We have these in our program too. If we put them on the foam roller. Side laying, single leg abduction, 20 of these. You're laying on your side. Making sure that glute med is able to support your pelvis without rocking, leaning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. That's your strength test. So that's industry standard. That's kind of our measure of, are you able to? And then just start like weaving it in. I wouldn't say like, go run 30 minutes. Like the test says, run for 10 seconds, see how you go. Okay, well now run for 5 minutes. Bring it into your circuit, like do a circuit, go for a lap for five minutes, do another circuit. The next time, do 2 laps, do 10 minutes, and work incrementally.
Mhm.
Sorry, girls, I wish I started with that, but no, it's on the back end. So those exercises that we did today are great whether or not you're wanting to be a runner or not. But the benefit of them and why I put them in this like running umbrella is because they're teaching and training you to absorb load and how to control load. So if you're on that step up, you're on this block and you're coming back slowly, you have to be able to have good control and stability of your glutes to be able to do that. What a lot of people do, and what a lot of my clients I see do, is they can't. They just plop it. Slow, slow, slow. Up, up, up. And be able to control and distribute weight and impact and protect your core, or protect your bladder from leaking. Got to be able to have impact and absorb load from all angles and all movements with your hips. All right. How are you girls with all that? Sometimes I feel like just like, sorry, I asked you a question and then I spoke. I'm sorry. Sometimes I feel like I just like, blah, like give it to you and it maybe isn't like all like perfectly like in an outline of like if this were like a PowerPoint, I just go and I just hope that it makes sense.
No, I actually have a lot of runners in my life, so it's kind of interesting to see. I wonder if they know this stuff.
Yeah, I didn't know. I mean, I knew some of it, like the leaning forward and where to foot strike when I was running, and I would work on it. But a lot of that strength stuff and testing that, and I knew a lot of the times I did have weak glute medes because I remember my brother-in-law telling me when I would often what would I do? I would like hit my own heel or something because I was running too on top of myself, and he would encourage me like, you need to work out the glute medes more, and so that way you're better.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you were probably running like with the knees like kind of collapsed maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
So those glute medes help to externally rotate your hips. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. So one of the best ways when you get back to running is to videotape yourself and then put it in slow motion and like pause the video when you're like this, you know, so you can see like where are those checkpoints?
Sure.
Like your upper body should be hinged in alignment with your shin.
Yeah, that makes sense. Just makes me laugh when I used to run cross country. I think I had the nickname Shuffle because I was so stiff. I was like,
oh, you're dragging your feet? You're the shuffler that I would hear?
So tight everywhere.
Oh, yeah. So funny. Man, I'm not going to lie. I'm good for running for 30 minutes. I hated that half marathon training. I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it because my clients do it. And I have to, it's good to do things you don't like because that's what I'm asking my clients, right? Like you're doing stuff that you don't like. But man, I will tell you, I feel like my body changed the most in the most unattractive way for me because you spend so much time running, right? For me, I felt it was too much on my hormones to be in that state. And I was the softest I think I've ever looked. So for me, like weight retraining is great and I love to integrate it, but man.
Yeah. I may want to do another half marathon just to do it again every once in a while. But my main hope is just to be able to be like, oh, I'm going to go run 5 miles this week, you know, every couple weeks or something, and then do 2 to 3 miles on a semi-regular basis.
Yeah. I feel like that's you guys are my people. Like nobody's coming to me to help them like with their running stride, right? But we want to be able to like have access to that without leaking or hip pain or knee pain. We want to be able to have access to normal everyday life and not have to think like, oh, should I wear black pants because I'm going to do that? Or sorry guys. Or, do I need a pad? Or what happens if I have an accident? I'm away from, like, we just want to have access to doing things safely and without worry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I hope today was valuable for you, even if you're not runners. The exercises, like I said, are still important. Those clamshells, the stability, the unilateral work. I mean, you're picking up a kid and then you're running off to the next one. Like, you have to be able to have, your body has to absorb impact. And I can't stress that enough, because it's the same thing if you were to like sneeze. Your body has to absorb impact from the inside. It has to absorb impact from the outside. And really what's happening on the outside, meaning like, oh, I need to, grab this kid before he falls off the counter, is what is happening on the inside. It's just coming from a different place.
Mm-hmm.
All right, girls, you're amazing. Any last questions or comments or thoughts or feedback? Anything I can help you with or serve you this week?
I don't think so.
Might need a one-on-one with you to help me with these if I do these lunges. I'll let you know though.
Of course. Shortening your range of motion, giving yourself like a stick, like trying to a cane. That's a little more geriatric. Do those 10-minute little things, are you guys into those? Should I make a couple more?
I like having that. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you like the cueing, or would you rather it just be like a silent background and you just like literally work out with me without words?
I like the cueing.
Okay.
Yeah, I do too. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. You got it. I'm gonna
Yeah.
keep more out for you girls.
All right. Thank you.
All right, thanks so much. I
Thank you,
appreciate
Kara.
Yep.
And Carrie, I
Thank
need
you.
to get over with you too.
Yeah, this week has been bonkers. My husband surprised me with tickets to a concert tonight.
Aw.
So we're spending the night in town tonight, and just, yeah. So I'm hoping to, oh, wait, hello. I will message you.
Yeah, you guys, I didn't even realize this is like, it's freaking 9 o'clock. We started at 7:45. No wonder why I had extra time. I went over. I didn't even notice that. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's all good.
All right, I'm gonna run to those parties. Thank you girls so much for being here early for me and doing that. I
Yeah.
appreciate you.
No problem.
All right, bye
Bye.
babes.
We'll see ya.